imagination, making musical creation, the journey that I'm facing, plus the paper that I'm chasing, got me crazy after saying with the lames I see you hating, but there's nothing that you changing, thumbs up I'm maintaining, no complaining when it's raining, I'll be in another zone, move out my mother's home to a world to call my own, I ain't gonna play around no more, find a difference from the ground and the floor, if we gotta fight I'll be down for the war, thumbs up homie I'll be sure, no matter where life takes me, find me with a smile, pursuit to be happy, on me laughing like a child, I never thought life would be this sweet, it got me cheesing from cheek to cheek, ay, ay. And I ain't gonna wait for nothing, cause that just ain't my style, life couldn't get better, this gon' be the best day ever.
GM Foxes, how are y'all doing today? Highlander, you're unmuted, so I'm going to ask you, how are you doing?
Oh, you can hear me. I'm doing pretty good. I'm back in the States after a month of traveling.
Welcome back, sir. What were some of the highlights from your trip?
Man, everything. I went all over Europe. I did Thailand. Thailand was amazing. It was pretty legit.
That's awesome. And it's super cool that you're able to meet up with the ShapeShift crew in Barcelona and Paris to attend the conferences. That worked out great.
Yeah, Barcelona was fun.
GM, everybody. Hey, what's up, Weedy? Highlander?
Speaking of Barcelona, what's up, Fabio?
Hey, yeah, for sure. I missed Barcelona, dude. Yeah, everybody was so cool there and so nice. We definitely had a great time in Barcelona. I went to Amsterdam after Barcelona, so I couldn't make Paris. I spent 1 day in Amsterdam before my final round to Brazil. But I'm sure that Vlad, make it happen, and Gomez too, Highlander, all the Fox team was there. So yeah, I heard that it was amazing too.
Heard great things and definitely had FOMO not being in Paris, but I'm glad that we had some Foxes representing. I love to see like the grassroots community coordination, just especially because we have Foxes all over the world. Just getting our local community members to go represent is awesome. I love to see it. All right, well, let's go ahead and kick off this lunch AMA. For anyone who's attending for the first time, this is our safe space where anyone can ask anybody any question and anyone can chime in with answers. So I invite anyone who has a question to voice it publicly, or if you prefer, you can also post a question anonymously through the Google form in the ShapeShift DAO stage chat. Check in there, and there's no anonymous questions yet, but we'll keep checking there throughout the call. Does anyone have any topics or questions they'd like to ask publicly? I got a topic. Congratulations, the Smith, on the passage of the globalization workstream proposal.
Oh yes, yeah. I'm afraid that I couldn't make enough time for this lunch EMA, but I came here earlier just to say thank you to everybody who supported us. Yes, we are super excited about the proposal. Yes, as I said, I would like to personally thank each one who supported us, but as far it will not be possible, I'm here, right? So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. All right, I got another topic or question. Oh, go ahead, H-Pain.
Yeah, I had a question. One of the things I've been sort of tasked with / looking at is sort of analytics for. We've been talking a lot about TVL and increasing TVL on the app, but I really want to look at almost TL, which is tokens locked, or in terms of value to remove the market condition from the metric. And I was wondering if we had any good ways to measure. I know a lot like Dune shows, I think, money or like dollar amounts, but I'm really curious about finding physical tokens instead. And I know there's a couple different things I've been looking at that just that show TVL. Then I'm able to rip some of the token amounts out of it, like from DeFi Llama or something. But do we have any other information that would be conducive to sort of getting stats on that?
Yeah, so if I understand correctly, you'd like to get just a comprehensive overview of the tokens that are staked in contracts at the ShapeShift DAO, basically, overseas.
Yeah, because when we're looking at TVL, right, the graph is like super bouncy and it's going down as the markets are going down. But really, I think if we were looking at like total value, total tokens locked from May to maybe now, it might be more of a flat line with a slight decrease maybe. And I think that would really help us measure growth more. So for a lot of these analytic platforms, it's like I don't even care about dollar amounts. I sort of care more about physical tokens, because this actually came from the idea I was doing some copywriting for Doge, and they're like, one Doge is one Doge, like screw you all. And so I was like, oh yeah, like one token's one token. Like why should I care how much? I should care about how much it's worth, but also for the context of growth and total tokens locked, I sort of care almost more about those token numbers instead of the dollar amounts. So I was wondering if we had any ways to get that information.
Yeah, well, if we can get the information for dollars, like I know that's what we have on the Yarn staking dashboard. It should even be easier to basically just like show the tokens. One of the challenges, I guess, is when we're doing like an aggregated view on like let's say for the Yarn dashboard we have right now, there's a bunch of different tokens, so we can't have, if we want to get it all into one chart just to show like total value locked, we need to have some common denominator to like dollars to basically show one chart. Otherwise, it's like you might have 1 million of some token and then 1 of another token, but the one token is worth more than the million, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that does make sense. That makes sense.
I think to your point, we definitely need right now something we don't quite have, and it makes sense because we've still been building out these contracts, and we're not necessarily, we're more of an interface as opposed to a protocol, but we have launched Foxy and we have the yieldies coming and stuff. So I think to your point, like we need to either have these Dune dashboards ourselves or ideally just be on DeFi Llama with all the different contracts, the protocol level contracts that the DAO does oversee. So things like the Yearn router, the idle finance router, when that comes out, the Foxy, all the different yieldies, the liquidity in the Fox ETH farm. Basically, that is a good thing for us to explore, is getting onto DeFi Llama and basically plugging in all of our, and that could be potentially a bounty that we offer like through Share for someone to actually do that work, and then we just provide basically all the different contracts, so that we can have basically that one view of ShapeShift's TVL.
Yeah, what about just normalizing? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just going to say, what about just normalizing it to ETH? Like it at least takes out some of the market direction from it, and it does give you something at least to normalize. Because, like I think to Willie's point, like you have to pick some sort of base asset to at least look at it. So I think you could probably do that within Dune itself to just to convert everything to ETH and then look at total ETH locked.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea, because ETH is generally, like you said, conducive to market conditions. So it would be somewhat normalized over, and it would actually, that's a great idea. I was also thinking, like, from the idea of total like tokens locked, if we're just looking at sheer volume, right? If just looking from like a growth and a user perspective, I sort of don't even care, or looking from like a not a marketing perspective, but just sort of a total engagement perspective. If I take say each one of the Yearn vaults, I don't know if we can see each of their token traffic through our router. But I was thinking like, if like numbers go up here, I don't care if that token's worth less or more, because I'm seeing there's an increase in usage there, and then there's more tokens being staked there. Sort of disregarding value for the sake of just saying, okay, more people are actually using this, and then taking, you can maybe stack these graphs on top of each other and then do an average trend line that sort of takes all of these data points from, the 80 different things we have that we offer, and put a general trend of like, okay, we're basically up here and we were down at this point, and what's causing this increase in sort of tokens being staked regardless of value. Because for me, tokens staked equals users using, So that was just sort of a side point, but I do like the normalizing to ETH. Sounds great.
Yeah, I love that idea too. It reminds me, to your point, HPain, of a lot of, like, if you look at a lot of the charts of TVL for layer twos, a lot of them are down in dollar terms, but they're actually up in ETH terms, which, to your point, shows that they are getting more usage and more adoption and more native tokens staked and deposited. But just the broader market movement, with the tokens being down, 70% plus, it can definitely have a big impact on those charts. So love where your head's at, and love Ocean's suggestion there. And then also, yeah, I do think we should, especially as we get ready to launch the Yieldies, we should look at getting all that information plugged into DeFi Llama, so that people can watch as ShapeShift's TVL grows. Sweet. Any other thoughts on that or questions, topics? Cool. I wanted to ask a question, and I was inspired by this from hanging out with Kent on his birthday on Sunday, and he asked, what do you think is going to be the killer app or killer feature for ShapeShift? Basically, we both agreed that this aggregated interface, this interface that aggregates chains, protocols, wallets needs to exist, and we're taking the right approach to build it. But it's also something that's going to take a bit to fully realize that vision. So in the meantime, are there any killer features that we could implement that are aligned with that roadmap that we think might drive a lot of user acquisition and adoption in the near term? So I got an idea for this, but I want to first open it up and hear what you guys think might be a killer feature that we could add. And Kent, let me know if there's anything you want to add to that context. Yeah, I love that. Love that vision, Ron. And I think, to your point, like, we can really shine as being kind of just like the non-custodial Coinbase. People have referred to ShapeShift like that many times, and there's some trade-offs, right? Like when onboarding new people into crypto, there's some benefits of being a centralized provider, because you can really easily go from fiat to crypto to help with that first hump. But there's some limitations too, like you have to, for a lot of those applications, like you have to KYC even just to get started, even if your friend just wants to send you some crypto, for example. So there's definitely some trade-offs, and I do think that at the very least we can be the easiest way for people who want to manage their own crypto and want to explore a lot of the cool DeFi stuff that these centralized providers can't offer. And I think it is quite possible for us to still at least be the easiest way to onboard somebody who wants their friend to send them some crypto, or even as we integrate these fiat on and off ramp providers, still being a really easy way for the average new user to get started. But I do think, and I'm curious what you guys think, I do think that with this direction we're headed in right now, we are kind of concentrating our focus a little bit more on not like the brand new beginner users, but on more of the users who are going a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole, and they've been onboarded to crypto. Now they've learned that it's important to control your own keys. They've heard about DeFi. They want to dive a little bit deeper. I think we can be a great kind of next step for these users after Coinbase. But curious what you think, Ron, and what the group thinks about that perspective. Totally. Yeah, I think that it's really good for us to think about that process of a user who is like ready to go from Coinbase to DeFi. They kind of right now the path is for them, I think a lot of them to like set up MetaMask and deposit some funds there, and then maybe go directly to one of these protocols like Uniswap or something to their interface, or maybe to a Zapper right now if they've heard of Zapper or Zerion to get a more comprehensive overview. And I would hope that we could be that the best next step for a user who is ready to get to move past Coinbase and take control of their own finances.
Yeah, thanks for geeking out with me, Willie, on Sunday. It's always fun to entertain questions like where are we headed and how are we going to find that product market fit. One thing that's interesting is like when I think back to the last bear market at ShapeShift is one kind of cool strategy we formulated was like, and this was more on the marketing side, but like how can we really connect with these users that are still around in a bear market in order to build like a good trusted relationship. So we were like basically just approaching them or trying to come out like with really good content, kind of bringing them down the rabbit hole with the idea that like, even if they're not using us much in a bear market, it's like, well, wait, ShapeShift knows what they're talking about. They're reliable, genuine, straightforward source of advice. And then sure enough, we did see some evidence that some of those users we targeted that way were actually sticking around when things started to get a little bit better. Of course, we had a pivot at ShapeShift, but I think a similar thing could work here. Like, if we are targeting those slightly more advanced users, but maybe these people aren't doing much volume right now because it's a bear market. And then one other idea I had is like, I think that the next wave of newer users is going to be perhaps still more NFTs, since that's the first case where we've seen crypto really go viral. So then it's sort of like, if we want to expand our market segments, targeting different sort of sub verticals in crypto, maybe, what can we do to add robust like NFT support, or maybe it's as simple as like bouncing users over to OpenSea. And I know they ended their referral program, but stuff like that. So DeFi and NFTs, and then like what's going to be the next big killer app, and just in crypto in general is always a fun thing to ponder too.
Totally, Ken. Yeah, I think we do have a good opportunity in this bear market to still attract a lot of the dedicated crypto holders and stuff with our differentiators of being a lot of these of having a lot of the values that the hardcore crypto users hold dearly. So the fact that we are community owned, the fact that we're open source, we have this private version, and that we're a DAO, and that they're not relying on some private organization stuff, but it's trustless, and anyone who's part of the community can basically trustlessly execute these transactions. I think there is some benefits from that in the bear market, and that is one of the big differentiators we have from a lot of our competitors. So I think focusing on that's good, and I think definitely like at the very least we need some basic NFT support. We need people to be able to see the NFTs in their wallet, and that's a great place to start and something that we're missing right now. I want to propose another, what I think could be a killer feature in the near term that could attract a lot of users that I'm excited about, and that we're working through on the product side. And we do have as a feature prioritized in the near term for these features, this feature set that product and engineering have aligned on and agreed should show us these signs of product market fit. But to Ron's point earlier, once we have that, we can add the Fox rewards on top to really juice it. I think that feature for us is the ability to display the DeFi positions. This feature we've been talking about recently, giving users a comprehensive overview of their portfolio. We're working through the designs for this on the product side, and we have a really cool concept that we think is better than what Zapper and Zerion currently show. And Zapper and Zerion, this was really the killer feature for them. This was the reason that I think Zapper was able to get, and Zerion were able to get so much adoption, was because Zapper became known as the best way to connect your wallet if you are a DeFi user and you want to actually see a comprehensive overview of your portfolio, not just the tokens in your wallet. That's why people were connecting to Zapper. And I think we're in a good position with these designs that we have, and with the fact that Zerion has this open source SDK. We can basically show users the same information that they'd see if they connected their wallet to Zerion, without having to build all those adapters ourselves, and organize and display it in an even better way. And we think we've looked a lot at what Zapper and Zerion are doing, and we really think that this new concept that we have is just a better way to organize all this information. And we will be user testing it and stuff. It's one of the things we do really well is create the optimal UX for these common activities. So I get really excited about that feature because I think it's one of the big missing features we have right now relative to our competition, and that's necessary for our vision. And I get excited because not only will we be displaying the same information you get on Zerion, but hopefully displaying it even better. But we'll also be able to show users an even more comprehensive view because we have support for these other chains. So not only will we be able to see your Bitcoin balance, which already is a big differentiator from Zapper and Zerion, but you will be able to see your Cosmos assets that are staked and earning yield, and your Thorchain liquidity positions, the yield that you're earning on your Bitcoin, and your Osmosis LP positions, and the LP tokens that are bonding and earning additional yield. I get really excited about that, and I think it's hard for me to imagine once we have that functionality that I don't know anyone else that offers that same comprehensive view of all of your DeFi positions on Ethereum, as well as including your positions from other chains and just support for other chains. It's hard for me to imagine that not driving a lot of adoption, and it's one of those things that doesn't directly produce revenues, but it's a thing that could, I think, attract a lot of users to ShapeShift. And as we're seeing, Zapper does a lot of trade volume, and it's not because they're necessarily the best trading interface, but because they've attracted a lot of users to use Zapper as their primary interface for managing their portfolio. What do you guys think about that as potential for being one of these killer features that could drive a lot of adoption in the near term? And feel free to push back if people think that that's not a feature that they'd expect to drive a lot of users. I'd love to hear that as well.
Sorry, I couldn't find.
I don't know exactly how many users are using Zapper. I know I remember seeing like a while ago a chart where I think they just hit 200,000 monthly active users. But we can see how much trade volume they're doing, and they did $42 million worth of volume on 0x over the past 30 days, and they did over $60 million of volume on 0x for the prior 30 days. Great Machine, what were you going to say?
Oh, I just wanted to voice my support in the integration of the Zerion Zapper style organization of assets, and so that's one of the big things that kind of still splits my interest across multiple platforms. Is like I go to ShapeShift to do some things, but I go to Zerion to do other things. And I mean, personally, another one for me would be Gnosis support, but that doesn't seem, I don't know if that's just more specific to us that are paid on Gnosis, but that would be a cool thing to have eventually too.
Agreed, and I think you make a great point. I'm super excited that Avalanche went live today, and I think where these are some of the kind of the core features that we ourselves, like we love to use ShapeShift for community members, but if we ourselves are having to go use competitors' apps, that's a great sign for some of the core functionality that we are still a little bit behind on, but quickly catching up on. So I think supporting more of these EVMs, which launching Avalanche today was a huge step towards that, as well as like the ability to use dApps, which is another one that product is working on right now. KeepKey's got its funding a bounty for giving ShapeShift native wallet users and KeepKey users, and as well as any wallet connected to ShapeShift, the ability to use other dApps. Those are like some of the main reasons right now that I myself get forced to go use other competing products, is using other EVM networks, or when I want to use another dApp, or when I want to see a comprehensive overview of my portfolio. So I'm really happy that all of those are features that we have prioritized on the near term. Because I think that will get rid of a lot of the reasons right now that users do have to not use ShapeShift. And then as we start to add some of these really awesome features that no one else provides all in one place, I think we're going to be in a really great position to attract a lot of users and get users excited about the app and about Fox as well. All right, any other thoughts on the displaying DeFi position functionality as a killer feature, or any other killer features anyone wants to suggest? Or not necessarily suggest, they can be things on the roadmap, but just things you think the DAO could do or build that would attract a lot of users in the near term.
Fox rewards.
Yes, I definitely think Fox. I think Fox rewards are great, and what I get really excited about is like right now, for example, we're not seeing a ton of deposits into the Yearn vaults through the ShapeShift router. I do think that when we can add Fox rewards on top of that, that will change. I do expect that to drive a lot of deposits. But I do think, I'm curious what you guys think. Is that the type of thing that you guys think we should consider prioritizing in the near term, or do you agree we should wait until we are seeing strong signs of organic product market fit, and then prioritize Fox rewards as a way to pour fuel on the fire? It also means we can basically focus on more of that core functionality that we're still lacking in some of these features that we do think will bring us that organic product market fit.
I think that's a tricky one, man. I think leaning too hard into trying to find like an organic product market fit or whatever. I don't think that's like as easy as it sounds realistically. There's still, like, if we were to do that, we would have to have like our fingers like really deep in like organic like traffic creation, right? And right now that's not necessarily the case. It's being worked on both on like a macro level and like a micro level, between like SEO and like building like communities and like a lot of these Web3 places that like crypto users hang out now and stuff like that. But like actually having like the velocity on like an organic market fit might be a little bit too slow for the current market conditions. And I think that juicing it with some sort of incent, even if it's like we're incentivizing at the point of like affiliate, like we're giving back a kickback, basically like a cut of like affiliate like earnings on various like products and stuff, then that would be like, I guess, the safest way to play it. But I think just like even just having like a slight incentive, even if it's not like, okay, like users are definitely getting the best rewards here, that's not going to be a thing. But even like the psychological like reality of having rewards and like loyalists being like, oh, okay, I'm loyal, but I can't like not get anything out of the deal. So like maybe we'll like retain or re-retain some of the users that we might have lost since we have gotten rid of Fox rewards. Because I know me personally, that was definitely one of the last things keeping me like super engaged in like always making trades on ShapeShift, even if it wasn't like a huge like monetary gain. Just it's like a principle thing. So I think it's definitely something to keep in mind for now.
Okay, we can see you unmuted.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know this isn't practical, but I know we have the Giveth stream, the Fox Honey thing, where things are kind of rolled out over several years, and I know that's on Gnosis, but that it feels like such a good way to approach rewards, and I don't know, like, Gnosis might not be the best place to do that, but it feels like if we're talking about rewards, and like, I guess the fear is if we start giving out rewards that people are just gonna, like if they get 10 Fox, they're just gonna cash it out, like they'll run a trade, get whatever 5 Fox or something like that, and then just immediately swap it out. So building that longevity and building that long-term involvement with as a Fox holder, rather than just getting a reward and cashing it out. Something like that feels a lot more appealing as a reward to me. Or some sort of locked Fox, right? Just, or incentivize holding it, basically.
Yes, I love that idea of leveraging the streams for these Fox rewards. I do think that is that does enable us to really mitigate the gameability of it, and also keep those community members engaged for the long term. I love that idea. And Hunt, I hear you. I think I do think there is some room for us to leverage Fox incentives in the near term, and I think it's a good segue for us to give HPain some space to talk about his proposal for that. I think I do think that we can get product market fit. To your point, it's not easy to get organic product market fit, but I do think that the features we have prioritized are the right features to give us signs of product market fit, basically being the best way to do things that there is already demand for. And again, like, it's very hard. People, I think, are often tempted when they think of like, how do we build a successful DAO or a successful project, to try and think about something brand new that's never been done before. But while those can be big wins for sure, they also have the least likelihood of success, right? And they're the hardest to pull off, especially when you have limited runway. Whereas on the flip side, if you can take something that there is already demand for, ideally growing demand for, and build the best solution for that, that can be a great way to get product market fit and to build a successful org. So I do think that we are the features we're building, we are on track for that, and we have runway and the right people in the right seats to be able to deliver on that. What I get worried about is just basically not being able to know if we have that organic product market fit, if we are adding additional incentives in there that can kind of skew our data. So I think maybe a blend, because I really want us to stay focused on building that core feature, that core product that is the best on its own, can stand on its own. And then once we have that, then prioritizing the work to do the Fox rewards so that we can really juice it. And I still think, people will get excited when we do that, and then we have time in our runway to execute on both the features and the rewards. But I do think in the meantime, I love HPain's proposal and the fact that DAppBack has basically built a lot of this stuff to enable us to experiment with at least using Fox as a means for user acquisition. And then we'll still be able to see if we are able to basically retain those users, which will give us some good data to inform that product market fit.
You're on point. Your logic is 100% correct in that. It's more of my thing is I'm looking at different customer segments, and it's even if we're kicking back some stupid petty amount, a very tiny amount of Fox or whatever the case is, right? It's that loyalist segment that we could easily pull back, and I think that even that quick, that small change, even if it's super insignificant economically and not really logical, it's more of just a oh hey it's there sort of thing. I think that we do have a chance, and we haven't. I think a lot of our users haven't used the platform, or probably don't even trade crypto that much. Some of them might be large holders and only log in every once in a while. When they log into V2 and stuff for the first time in months, now that the market's rebounding or whatever they held through all that hell, we might be able to retain and have people exploring the app a lot easier if we do have that just slight thing that I guess a lot of people are like me probably got used to just having that Fox kickback, even if it was super minimal, right? So that's really the only angle. I'm definitely with you on the vision and the methodology you want to go about to achieve it, and I think you're on point. I just think that there's little tiny things that we could do realistically with Incent, but yeah, HPain, take it away if you want to talk about your stuff. Definitely don't want to intrude.
Well, I didn't know I'd be talking about this. I mean, did any people want me to talk about this?
Heck yeah, talk about that.
Okay. Great. Let me find the link again. So if you guys didn't see, this is a proposal that I just put up yesterday talking about DAppBack funding increase that is going to allow us to schedule some new rewards, which directly encourage and incentivize people to use features on our app. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Basically, it's asking for $70,000 in Fox tokens to then put towards either an initial $7,000 test that will be running these conversions via rewarding people for completing 2 or 3 mainnet tasks for us, and then seeing where that sort of grows. That's the TLDR. Yeah, it's super great. It's been crazy how much I was looking at how many people have been voting on it, but the DAppBack community has been super juiced about this thing, and so they've been really showing up and supporting, which has been great to see people participate. Which is honestly been an additional win, even if this passes or even if this doesn't pass. Getting people into our forum and participating has been really great to see. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I like DAppBack. I'm definitely interested to see how it plays out with the on-chain tasks. So I'm supportive, bro. For sure, it's definitely a good way for us to use a third party, for instance, like Willie was talking about. But yeah.
Are we able to track that journey from DAppBack into Pendo to see if there's actually like a start and end of we onboard them through DAppBack and then they complete trading, like basically revenue generating stuff? Like, can we?
We'll be tracking it. I mean, they'll be tracking it through their snapshot configuration, and so the way people will be earning rewards is they'll earn rewards based on what tasks they have. Actually, I can send you the spreadsheet. Or actually, there might be a link in here too, but it has the task and then the amount of people that completed the task, and then how many tokens that DAppBack paid them out in, or like their DAppBack tokens. And so you can track how many people are doing specific activities that we're asking for and what those are, and then how many rewards were they're claiming. So we could do like this cost them this much money, we rewarded them this many Fox, and it generated this much revenue, and it balanced out to, we're either negative this much or we're ahead this much based on the traffic. That's my understanding, at least.
Yeah, I think that's right, HP. And I unfortunately don't think we were able to track any of the referral data in Pendo, so we won't necessarily know where the users are coming from. But we will be able to see in Pendo just like increase in users, increase in feature usage and stuff like that. And then on the DAppBack side, we'll be able to see how many users actually completed it and claim their reward on DAppBack. So we should have a pretty good idea. But yeah, just noting that Pendo doesn't show us where users are coming from. We do have on ShapeShift.com Google Analytics, but I think HPain, they'll be linking directly to app.shapeshift.com, correct?
Yeah, it should be going to app.shapeshift.com directly. But it's been amazing seeing some of the traffic come over to shapeshift.com just from the standard DAppBack thing. So I imagine even if some people will click through to app.shapeshift and decide not to do a reward, there's still a market exposure moment for them where they now are at least aware of us, which is equally as important, arguably.
Totally. I think we've seen when we go to these conferences, there's still a lot of the active crypto users that aren't familiar with the new ShapeShift and our direction. They still think about the old ShapeShift. So even just getting that exposure out there is valuable. Sweet. Well, I'm really excited for that as a next kind of experiment, and for us to basically be able to use Fox to drive user acquisition and also reward these new users with some ownership. And I'm sure we'll get a lot of great data from the first experiment. So thank you, HPain, and everyone who's contributed to getting the DAppBack stuff ready to rock. I know that's been quite a process.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. One other feature that I'm really excited about on the near term is these MetaMask snaps, and giving users the ability to connect MetaMask to ShapeShift and use other chains besides just Ethereum. We are working on this right now, and at the very least, the plan is to support both Bitcoin and Cosmos by launch, including the ability to trade on Thorchain. We are still exploring whether we're going to be able to squeeze more chains in there in time for the launch, which is currently slotted for the end of September, but we need to be code complete on our snap by the end of August so that we can get a free audit from Consensus. But this is pretty exciting because right now we're only aware of one other team that's working on the snap, and their implementation is quite different than ours. And yeah, because the snaps, the way they work is that they don't actually show you any of your balances for these other chains inside the MetaMask extension. You can't actually see your Bitcoin or send your Bitcoin from MetaMask, even if you have the snap installed. Basically, you need a separate UI and interface to actually show you all of the data for your snap and to enable you to basically like initiate transactions and see your transaction history and everything. So MetaMask is really excited that we're working on this because we already have that UI. We have a lot of the code necessary to basically build the snap and add support for these other chains relatively quickly. We're able to use a lot of the code from HT Wallet. So yeah, I'm really excited because there's just millions of MetaMask users, and there's going to be some percent of them that is very interested in using these other chains with their MetaMask, and MetaMask will be promoting ShapeShift if we can hit this deadline as a launch partner for this. So that's one of the other features on the near-term horizon that I get really excited about.
Oh, GM, again, everybody. I have an interesting topic, Willie, that photognosis panel that we've recently created. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that sounds great. The Smith and also I am wondering, I was hoping, I thought we were gonna talk about it at the tokenomics call yesterday, but I think maybe wires got crossed.
Yes, we had the fourth chain and then the middle of the way. So yeah, I couldn't make it to present, the entire panel. So I guess I can share my screen.
That sounds good. And then also I do want to ask, are you planning, or are you interested in presenting at the next tokenomics office hours? And
oh yeah, we can do it for sure. I think we can gather some data around this panel, this dashboard, right? So because I believe that the doing analytics data can provide us powerful insights, and we want to cross this data with product adoption, right? So I think with this, we can understand how wallets interact with the voting process, promotions, campaigns, and airdrops, right? So mainly on Gnosis chain, right? So it is a very lean panel. It has daily metrics, so I think we can like snapshot a period and then present in tokenomics meetings, right? So this is very interesting because we can measure some campaigns, hit spots, right? And this process could be live and on chain, right? So like we can know how many daily new accounts in Gnosis we have. If we run a campaign like driving an airdrop for like Gnosis wallet, we can track this movement, and it is live, right? So like I thought this is very interesting. The daily this panel in particular, like the daily active users are operating on Gnosis chain, right? So this is really cool to see that the XFOX token, right, is alive. So we can see we can have some insights here. Like we basically we have small wallets in Gnosis chain, right? So that there's a huge part of the supply in small wallets. So how can we gather these people for the governance process, or even empower them, right? Like incentivize a bridge the Gnosis, the Ethereum mainnet, and then give to these users the FOTC journey. I don't know, right? But it's really cool to see how powerful doing analytics can be, right? So we are really excited to work more around this kind of knowledge, right? So thanks, Mr. Bear, who provided this dashboard. It is fully global. So yeah, that's all about the Gnosis dashboard. I will paste the link in the stage chat so everybody can dig into this panel. And by the way, thank you, Ken. I'm looking forward to jumping tokenomics meetings as soon as possible with some nice data around this dashboard. So yeah, I'm game for the next week. Thank you.
Sweet, thank you, Smith. And Kent, does that work? Do we have space on the agenda next office hours? All right, well, we'll figure out the scheduling separately, but thank you, Fabio, for putting all this data together.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Yes, well, we'll definitely keep a slot open for that next Tuesday since it's so relevant.
Awesome. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, if anybody has any feedback or like requests or comments or anything for the Smith before he makes that next presentation, that would be awesome. I'm sure he'd appreciate any feedback.
Oh, yes, for sure. By the way, we just set up the DAO's calendar, our global office hours. So we intend to run the inaugural one in a couple of days. So stay tuned. I think GK is handling with that. I just requested. So yeah, we do intend to run global office hours through the proposal term.
Hey, congratulations, by the way, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man, you're gonna kill it.
Yeah, thank you, especially mainly you, dude. One of the biggest supporter of the Latin team. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Everybody loves you guys. I'm sure you're gonna do great.
We love you, Smith. Really excited for you in this new work stream, and definitely looking forward to the first office hours. All right. Any other questions or topics about anything?
Yeah, when ETH to Atom swaps, and what's up with Doge? Are we almost there, or are we there? Did I miss something?
Yeah, Doge is live. We just haven't done the marketing push because we're waiting to do it. I think with Doge, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. Both Doge and Bitcoin Cash are live. Litecoin, they found a bug on the Key firmware side that's preventing us from enabling Litecoin. So working through that last bug there. But in the meantime, you can use Doge and Bitcoin Cash now.
Yeah, everybody get on like Twitter and definitely talk about that. The Doge community and the Bitcoin Cash community are definitely super active there. So, getting that awareness out about that capability when marketing does do the push is super important for everybody.
Agreed. Yes, and keyword there when marketing does the push. I'm always eager to put this stuff out, and then remember we got to make sure we don't front run the marketing work stream. So, but when we are ready to do that announcement, I agree. Let's all go out there and tweet and make a big splash because even if you don't use those, there are definitely still active communities there, and I'll be really excited to hear ShapeShift supporting it.
Dude, we can post like so many Doge memes now. It's gonna be great. It's awesome.
Yes.
Just to reiterate, the keyword there was when marketing. I just want to make that abundantly clear. I know Willie said it. I'm just going to say it again, just in case anyone missed it. It's the when. The when is the important thing, which is actually soon. So keep your ears to the ground.
So start making memes like right now, basically.
That's right. You can start getting your memes ready. Just don't post them yet. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to tweet at Elon showing a Doge transaction from the Tesla. It's gonna be a good one.
It's like the classic. You always do that. Yeah, T-Wells, how's all the video stuff going, man? I know we talk privately, but community is definitely always stoked on your content. I don't know if you're free. Craig could probably talk about it if you're not.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I am on the road right now. I don't know. Can you all hear me all right?
Yeah, if you're driving with kids, be safe.
Always, man, hands-free. No, I appreciate it. I think we got a news update. It's a little bit longer form, sort of akin to what we were doing at the end of last year, actually, that should be posting early next week. So hopefully people will enjoy that and we can we can make some nice co-marketing perhaps with some of the projects that are featured in the video. And other than that, I'm stoked for this launch with AVAX, and I got a nice punchy one for Cow Swap. So yeah, just we've been trying to push out some good value add content on the video side for sure.
Heck yeah, thanks, bro. Thanks, Gray. Yeah, Willie, stoked on Cow Swap.
Yeah, stoked on Cow Swap. Did a Cow Swap test this morning and it worked great. I think right now we are soft targeting August 15th as the official announcement for it. We're going to try and get it live before then and thoroughly test it and get some polish improvements in there as well. So it's a really slick integration. But yeah, I'm super stoked for Cow Swap. I'm excited for a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff coming nearing completion with the Cow Swap, Osmosis, Thorchain. Really, really excited for all those features to be complete, plus Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Doge, to really enhance that Thorchain integration. And then soon after, more Cosmos zones to enhance the Osmosis integration and also bring in some additional revenue streams with the validators we already have running. Lots of really exciting stuff on the roadmap, all coming to completion.
A special sound, like a moo and like a fox or something when we do the Cow Swap trade.
I love that idea. We gotta. And what do you guys think would be the best sound right now? We could always just do the moo. No one really knows what the fox says. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about just in general getting some sounds into the app?
What does the fox say? Is that a book?
It's like a YouTube video.
No, it's a book or a rhyme or something.
Yeah, it's all of the above, man.
Beard, what do you think about getting sounds into the app?
Sure.
Yes. Nice. Sure.
We're gonna just like have someone record their voice, whoosh, and stuff.
Whoosh. That was pretty good. Anyone? We got the recording of that just now. In fact, I do think sounds would be a fun thing to add. And hopefully, we can come up with something fun to do for when the Cow Swap trade completes. Even just doing the moo, I think would be fun, but I'm not sure everyone will get it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Definitely like the ka-ching when you receive anything.
Dude, a flare toggle would be really cool if you could just like turn on a toggle and have like all sorts of cool like effects on your trades and on your dashboard.
Flare, you mean like thinking confetti and stuff?
Yeah, just like sounds and just like different transitions and just like a little bit more of a fun like degen dashboard sort of thing. But every time I hit up OX to like with an idea like that, he tells me to learn to code. But yeah,
while we're throwing out fun stuff, themes for sure. We have the dark theme and the light theme. Could be fun to add some other fun themes, rainbow theme.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
But much easier said than done. And yeah, we got a packed roadmap. So a lot of this too is like just even fleshing out all the thought. So we have like a comprehensive spec of what a feature would look like if we were to add it, what sounds we would use and where we'd put them and stuff like that. Is also super helpful even if you don't have those coding skills.
I think the idea sounds cool as shit. Really, I mean, if it's done right, it could be a huge value add for the general UX, right? And something unique.
Totally. Sometimes it's those little things. And that reminds me of one other potentially killer feature that DeFi's already been working on that I would love to see us launch. And we had mockups for this, like in the original Axiom, the original beta.shapeshift.com, but never prioritized it. But the rainbow charts, have you guys heard of this concept yet? I wonder if I can find this screenshot from the old UI. But the idea with the rainbow charts is to be basically right now, if you look at your portfolio on your dashboard, you just see one color for the chart. But what we are able to do is we have the information for each asset and the value of that asset over time to make up the chart. And the idea is to basically give users the ability to see each of the assets in their portfolio and basically like a weighted chart, a stacked area chart is the correct term, so that you can see, how much Fox basically makes up your whole portfolio over time, and basically have it color coded so that each section of the rainbow is color coded to match the token. I think that could be a super cool feature that's both useful and also could kind of be like really viral. And to T-Well's points, is just one of those UX things that people could get pretty excited about, like, and want to come connect their wallet to ShapeShift just so they can see that rainbow chart.
Yeah, on the sound side, I almost think about it like a good PowerPoint presentation. Like if you have bad sound, it's like, oh my God, spare me, horrible. But if you nail it, it can really pull you into the story of the whole thing.
Totally, it's the little things. All right,
Yeah,
I'm looking.
Feature dashboard sounds really cool. I don't know how to do it. It's probably way more complicated than I think, but
For the DGen dashboard?
yeah, just having like all sorts of sounds and like different transitions and just like a different experience when you're like trading. I don't know, that's a huge thing. Like the reason like I used like BitMEX back in the day is because of like the way that I could trade on the platform, just like the experience, and then switching over to Binance was like learning calculus in like the 3rd grade, dude. So it's like I hated it, and I still to this day I hate KYC on BitMEX for that reason and stuff, because I can't use their platform for their UX. But like when people find that like user experience that they like, they really don't want to go away from it, realistically. So yeah, if we can nail that, even if there's like 1 or 2 or whatever options for people, like dark, light mode, DGen dashboard, like sounds, whatever the case is, could definitely be like a really cool way to like earn that customer loyalty at the end of the day.
Agreed. Just posted a screenshot of an old mock-up of rainbow charts. You guys can get the idea. I love the rainbow direction and incorporating that into our branding too. I think it's super cool, and rainbows are in. Just aligns well with our multi-chain, multi-protocol vision.
I like it too. It's pretty. It remembers me something widespread. Something isn't. I don't know, big.
Ron just asked, would we limit to the top 10 assets? And absolutely, Ron. Kind of the idea, I guess, is we have to figure out exactly what that threshold is. But at some point, taking all of the long tail assets like that a user like me has in their portfolio and putting that into like an other category.
That's a wild idea, but I was thinking about the other reasons that like a lot of people like stayed loyal to BitMEX and just were like part of like that community. It was because they had a troll box. Would it be possible to have like a way to like pop out like Discord general or like some part of the community like via the app a little bit easier, or is that like overly complex?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Like, so say like we have like links to the community, right? But like we just link out to the community normally. What if people were able to like pop out like in an iframe like general on Discord or like the forum or something like within the application itself? Would that be like a huge lift, technically speaking? Or would it be like a simple iframe situation with like a little bit of legwork?
Basically, are you thinking like a troll box type thing, or like the ability to message for users to message each other, or plugging in the Discord?
Yeah, basically like a troll box like in the app. But like
yeah, what he's describing is a bridge. There's ways to bridge chat into Discord and vice versa, bridging the Discord into other apps.
We are already bridging, so we could do that if it connected to Matrix. And also, that Matrix connected to IRC chat. Just pushing it out there for Shadow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a super like good way to engage like users in the community and like maintain their usage. Because like even I remember like even when people like get wrecked for like stupid sums of money, they would still be sitting there talking.
It's worth mentioning that they put a ton of effort into moderating those chats.
It's horrible. Yes. I
And
already know
even with
that.
all that effort, it's rife with scams. Yeah.
Yes, it's worse than TG.
So I'm setting GK up right now. But yeah, it's just something to think about.
I think it's a super cool idea. I really like the idea of a chat bot and potentially leveraging Discord for that as well. So that, or like a chat troll box. Definitely some cool stuff we could do there. So
If you make
cool.
it like, if you make it one channel GK that's like bridged, you could realistically like have that channel locked down like super hard at the end of the day.
No links or something like that. Yeah.
Have you looked into the TG for we already have for Telegram connection bridge? It's not as easy as you think. It's both sides we have to moderate, not just one.
I know with that. Yeah, I definitely am not sure how technically difficult it would be. Definitely.
It's still doable, obviously, but it's still about a pain in the ass too.
Yeah. Well, it's a cool concept, and it's something that right now is not on the roadmap, but could potentially even be bountied. And we'd have to figure out like what is the actual implementation, what's the scope, what's the value we think it can bring and everything. And if we can kind of start brainstorming that, then we can hopefully get it to a point where we think it's a feature worth prioritizing either internally or as a bounty. Definitely think it's got merit and could be a great topic of discussion at the next product office hours. And if you or anyone wants to, spend some time trying to flesh that out and putting together a concept, that would be awesome. Anyone is welcome to always propose features. So I think this is like a great example of one that doesn't have to necessarily come from the product workstream.
I have an idea.
Arena, feel free to like weigh in on this too, since I know like a whole bunch of people that are definitely like highly active in places like that and different crypto exchanges. I mean, I would definitely be interested in community input on like the value add and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Sounds
Yeah,
like
my eyes kind of lit up. My eyes lit up when you said troll bugs.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the community. It would like bridge like the community to like the app a little bit harder, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Good idea.
Awesome. Well, we are over time, starting to bleed into this GitHub backlog grooming. Thank you guys all for joining the weekly Ask Anyone Anything lunch. Great questions and great comments from everybody.
Thanks, Willie.
Thank you all. Have a GM. I'll see you guys soon.
Good GM.